Sunday the 17th of September, 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join us on Zoom and on YouTube for the official relaunch of the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge website, priestisaacinstitute.com. Our website has been upgraded and has been made more easily accessible to you. On priestisaacinstitute.com, you will find all that you need for your holistic growth. We offer certified courses in ancient astronomy and ancient archaeoastronomy, as well as our international homeschool program for children of all ages. Sunday the 17th of September, 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join us on Zoom and on YouTube for the official relaunch of the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge website, priestisaacinstitute.com. Our website has been upgraded and has been made more easily accessible to you. On priestisaacinstitute.com, you will find all that you need for your holistic growth. We offer certified courses in ancient astronomy and ancient archaeoastronomy, as well as our international homeschool program for children of all ages. At priestisaacinstitute.com, we not only offer our books, video documentaries, and webinars, we also have available food preparation courses and cooking classes in the field of raw foods as well as vital plant-based cuisines. Do you shop online for your nuts, grains, etc.? We have that too. Get all your necessities from your agave, honey, spices, all your nuts, and so on. Now don't forget our online clothing labeled with our icons. You can get your sweaters, t-shirts, even hoodies. The Tiger's Nest. And speaking of the Tiger's Nest, Radio Anu International, 24-hour internet radio, giving you positive, conscious information and inspiration throughout the day. Again, on the 17th of September 2023, mark the date from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Join us on Zoom or on the Priest Isaac's YouTube channel for the official relaunch of priestisaacinstitute.com. Zoom VIPs will receive a special gift. To get your Zoom link, go to the website priestisaacinstitute.com or email us at priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com. 17th of September. Be there.
Yeah. Exactly 10 minutes after the hour, 6 o'clock in the AM. Let us say blessed love to each and every one. And a wonderful Sunday opera saying, hey, give thanks for your presence with us. This is Radio Anu TV. No, it's not Radio Anu Television. We're telling you truth through the vision. Vision. Hey, blessing the full international community, giving thanks for your presence that's touching you wherever you may be. Again, give thanks to the opera I sing. Honorable Priest Isaac here with you, glorifying Emperor Haile Selassie I. All doing the same. Hey, as I said to you, family, introducing Radio Anu TV. Not no television now, TV. Telling you truth, the vision. Obviously an offshoot of Radio Anu, the international flavor, the universal spice. Hey, keep it locked to Radio Anu, I'm telling you, unless you're on the TV. Some may say, what is it, a radio or TV, man? Radio Anu is a brand all by itself, eh? Has its own TV. Telling you the truth through the vision. Hey family, we have a wonderful set down for you in the opera. I said I will be with you throughout the morning, as they call it, taking away your morning. So all you gotta do is just relax, yo. Just keep it on. Make sure that you're here. We'll be bringing you information, inspiration, knowledge. We'll be giving you some updates as it relates to what's taking place in the world, internationally, what's going on in Mali. I hear they say they tried to take out the leader again. I mean, you may not hear it in the news, but there are attempted coups almost every week, you know, in these places here. A lot of unrest and instability. We'll be going into the vibration and speaking a little about that. And of course, you know, give thanks. I hear the fella in France trying to encourage the ECOWAS leaders, them to gather together and go and fight against their brothers. Can you imagine that? It's obvious, family, that this is a different time in history. This is a different time with us. And of course, give thanks for the words of the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, which we clearly see coming to pass even in this day and this time. But family, give thanks for your presence again. Give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life. We're going to have a wonderful day, a wonderful sit down, of course. So many things on the table. Just continue to take in the Nyabingi. We ain't in no rush at all. I will continue to take a little sip of the chalwa as I'm observing the sun coming over the horizon. Yes, a cloudy morning, some lightning and thunder. It is all good. Praise Father, I let the earth hear his voice. Holy Emmanuel, that's it. Yeah.
Statistic says that one out of 3 light bulbs in France is powered by uranium from Niger. In other words, 1/3 of all of their power, because they're one of the European countries that use a lot of their electricity comes from nuclear.
Now, what I'm going to do, family, give thanks again for your presence with us. Give thanks to the morning upright. I think we're talking about exactly 16 minutes after the hour, 6 o'clock. We're just going to take a little listen, just a bit, an excerpt from a lecture given by our good brother up there in London, Brother Leo Muhammad Touch, just reaching out to the good brother and the brothers up there of the Nation of Islam doing such works. And he is speaking, he'll be speaking about the whole aspect of the war that is taking place in Africa as such. Well, it's a war, man. Trust me, it's a war. Who you think? This is an economic war. It's a social war. It's a war. It's on many fronts. We're talking about war. So anyway, let's just give a listen to Brother Leo Muhammad right here on Radio Anu, a TV, telling you the truth of that vision. Let's go, brother.
Now, those West African nations, they have really had enough. And so when you look at Mali, when you look at Burkina Faso, when you look at these nations now who are determined to free themselves, and not in word now, but in deed, these are nations now who are saying that they're willing to fight for their freedom, because as Africans, we have always fallen for the trick of believing that Europeans had our best interest at heart. But the Africans are finally waking up to the reality that Europe means us no good. That Europeans, that Americans are wicked in their plans for the continent. And that is why in 2023, the African nations, many of them remain underdeveloped. But you got to understand that these African countries, they are saying enough is enough. And the black man is no longer apologetic for being desirous of having what other people take for granted. The Chinese have been able to extricate themselves from under the yoke of Western dominance. The Indians have been able to extricate themselves from under the yoke of Western dominance. Even when Britain divided India and created Pakistan, two people who are the same people, but today they're at loggerheads against one another because the West is in between them. But even Pakistan today can boast of its own nuclear weapon. Even Pakistan today, even though the British and the Americans are still dug in to these nations, to the point where the other day they manipulated the political system in Pakistan to such a degree that Imran Khan was arrested. And this was pure American meddling. But this is how they meddle in other people's business. And today, you keep hearing about Ukraine, and Ukraine wanting to maintain its sovereignty from Russia, and how Russia is wicked because of what it's doing to Ukraine. That is a damnable lie. Ukraine has not been a sovereign nation since 2014, when America engineered a coup in that country, overturning the government and putting in a puppet. America runs Ukraine. Victoria Nuland, who is the second in command in the State Department in America, Victoria Nuland, she is the one who is dictating today to Ukraine. And so, the Africans, having observed what is going on in Ukraine and knowing something of the evil of the Europeans and what they've been doing all over the planet, Victoria Nuland flew into Niger recently because she was going to go now and persuade these military Africans to reinstate the puppet president Bazoum, and to go and threaten the Africans that if you don't capitulate, that we're going to use military force against you. Well, Victoria Nuland was told in no uncertain terms, "Get thee behind me, Satan." She was told, one, she wanted to see the ousted president. She was denied that request. Well, she wanted to sit down with the leadership of the so-called coup. She was denied that request. Because as Africans, once and for all, we have determined to take charge. My voice is going. We have determined to take charge of our own destiny, of our own fate. And so this is what you're looking at. But I have to say to you, it's unfortunate, but the world is in transition. tremendous change is on the way. But this change is not without danger, and this change is not without blood. I'll explain it to you like this. When a woman becomes pregnant and she is about to give birth, there is always accompanying that birth, there was always pain, and there is always blood. Unless, by the way, you're Victoria Beckham, who is too posh to push, so she has a cesarean section. That's a cop-out. All women should know that the pain of childbirth is a bonding process with that child. And it is absolutely necessary if you are going to have a healthy child and a healthy relationship with that child. Like breastfeeding is too. You should breastfeed for a minimum of 2 years instead of handing over the baby to a plastic bottle, which has no feeling and the baby cannot relate to. But anyway, in that process of giving birth, there is always pain and there is always blood. And when you talk to women who have given birth and you ask them about the pain, they find it extremely difficult to explain what that pain is like, because it is literally the pain of death. There is hardly a woman who has ever given birth who has not at some point during the process felt like she had to give up and felt like she could not go on. And if she is lucky enough to have her husband there or somebody to support her, that she can grip their hand or bite something. Sometimes they give them drugs. They give them an epidural in the spine, or they give them other gas and air. But if you can, my wife gave birth to 4 children. No gas and air, no epidural, no medication, just natural. So it can be done. But the point is this: after the baby is born, despite the pain of death, that woman almost immediately, she forgets the pain and her focus becomes the new life that she's just given birth to. I'm suggesting to you that that new life, that new birth is so beautiful that the pain that one had to suffer, the blood that had to be spilled to bring that new life, is worth it. And I'm saying this: we are at a point today where massive blood is about to be spilled, where tremendous pain will be visited upon the members of the human family. Because Satan, he desires to maintain his grip on the people of the planet. But God has now come and said to Satan, loose them, let go, your time is up. And so there's a battle now between good and evil. There is a battle now taking place between God and Satan. And in that battle, Satan will not go quietly. Satan will fight. And Satan's mentality is that if I can't remain in power, if I can't stay here and keep a hold of the people of God, then I will take everybody with me. And so they keep speculating about Vladimir Putin. Oh, do you think Putin would use nuclear weapons? Do you think Putin might press the button? Forgetting that Vladimir Putin has never used nuclear weapons against anybody. The only people who have used nuclear weapons are the Americans, with the backing of the British. And so while you're there worrying about Vladimir Putin, you need to take a look at bumbling, stumbling Biden. You need to take a look at whoever is going to come into that White House next. Because these are the psychopaths who have become so big-chested, believing themselves to be the only superpower on the planet, believing themselves to be the superior of everybody else, believing themselves to be exceptional. This is the language that they use. This is the way they view themselves. I'm warning you that it's your governments. It's Britain that's becoming desperate. It's America that's becoming desperate. It's the European Union that's becoming desperate. It's these Caucasians who went all the way down into Australasia and stole the land from the Aborigines. It's these who are becoming desperate because Australia has got one of the most draconian immigration systems on the planet. After they went there and stole the land. And now if you look like me, if you're brown, if you got slanted eyes because you're part of that landmass which is very close to Australia, you're going to find it very difficult to get in there because the Europeans are desirous of keeping it for themselves. But I've got to warn you, I've got to tell you the truth. The other day, you saw the French loading the French nationals onto airplanes and flying out of Niger in a hurry. You saw the Americans doing the same. You saw many Europeans having to leave that region because of fear that the Africans are serious about taking charge of their own countries. Well, you haven't seen nothing yet. Europeans, you are going to be run out of the East. You are going to be run back into Europe. You will not be able to remain there. You are going to be pushed back into your original place, which is the hills and cave sides of Europe. This is what's going on right now. And Africa is to rise. Not just on the continent of Africa, not just on the continent of Africa, but what you're looking at here are some of the sons